Have you been thinking about starting an online business, but you have so many ideas and you've been scoping out these interwebs, so you know that there are also so many options? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you how to go from thinking about starting to being able to actually take some action steps. And I got my notes here because I want to make sure that I remain systematized. Sometimes I get on a tangent, but I want to make sure that you're able to take these steps in a sequential order so that they make sense and that you feel confident taking steps, because that's honestly what I found. It's all the ideas, all the options in our head, and it's like, I don't know what to do. So I'm going to break it down for you, but I first got to say that online business is not for everyone. I feel like there is such a pressure right now within the healthcare space, whether you're PT, OT, speech, nurse, what have you. It's almost like there's so much pressure and everyone's telling you start an online business if you don't like your job, start an online business if you're feeling burnt out. That's really not the case for everyone. And I actually have another video that I did probably about 2 weeks ago, actually helping you emotionally prepare if you're going to start an online business, because know the lifestyle is just glamorized, but I want to let you know also what you're getting into. And I'm not here to make it seem as though online business is impossible. Obviously, millions of people are doing it. However, I think it's really important for you to just be equipped emotionally. And I think it's important to also make sure that we're keeping our nervous system safe throughout this process. And when we are overwhelmed or flustered with all of the ideas and the options and who to listen to, it's like, well, what do you want? You might not even want a business, but you might feel pressure to be in one. So it's really important for you to start deciphering what's your voice versus what is the voice of society? What is the voice of your parents? What is the voice of maybe a really good friend who started in business? And you're like, well, I'm not in business. Maybe I should be. And you start trying to make yourself do the things that other people are doing when it just might not be for you. So first and foremost, let me say that online business isn't just sharing your knowledge. It's not coming on social media and saying, here's everything I know. Online business is actually how your knowledge and your skills solves a problem. Businesses solve a problem, whether it's brick and mortar or online. This channel is all about online, but businesses in general solve problems. This mic is solving a problem because my computer audio doesn't sound good by itself. So I need a mic. This solves a problem for me, right? I don't want to use plastic. So I've got my glass water jar. Everything solves a problem. There's lighting here, right? Notebook for me to put my thoughts. It solves a problem. This isn't people just sharing their knowledge. And I find that clinicians fall into this educational trap of coming online, creating content, and thinking that their knowledge is their business, and it's not. Business has to solve a problem, and not a problem that you think the person needs to solve, but a problem that the person needs to solve, right? And if you relate this back to your clinical experience, how many times do people come in and say, oh, my shoulder's hurting, and they think they have a shoulder problem, but ultimately speaking, it might be coming from their neck. It could be coming from their thoracic spine. And we also know that everything plays into each other. But the person coming in wants to solve a shoulder problem. They don't want to solve a neck problem or a thoracic mobility problem, right? So if we tried to sell them on thoracic mobility or tried to sell them and educate them on a neck issue, they're like, but what about my shoulder, right? They're going to keep asking you the exact same question, which is about their problem. So we want to make sure that when you are starting your online business, that you start to recognize it is not your knowledge. It is actually being able to put together your skill and your knowledge to solve a problem in the marketplace. And I do have another video, if you scroll back, it's all around how to find a profitable lane in the online business world. But I'll give you the breakdown here, because it doesn't just have to be your clinical knowledge and skills that helps you to solve a problem. It could also be your non-clinical knowledge and non-clinical skills as well. And so what you want to do is you want to actually take a look at your knowledge, your skills, your life experience, your passion, your spiritual gifts. The intersection of all of those, you are going to find a common theme. You're going to find a common thread where you can see where all of it kind of matches up. And then you can start to say, okay, this is what my knowledge and skills and my passion and my spiritual gifts, this is what I can help do in the marketplace. Okay. So I do have another video on that. I will link it in the description down below for you to easily click on it. But let's get into these 5 steps. So the first thing is, who do you help? This is often known as your niche, but I want you to understand too that a niche is not just, a mom who is in back pain, or a mom who has 3 kids and is looking to exercise more and be fit, right? It could be a problem. A niche is not always a person. It is not just the mom, but the problem that the mom might be experiencing, or the problem that the runner might be experiencing, or the problem that the skier might be experiencing, whatever sport or whatever person that you want to help, they have a problem, but that problem is not just within a runner or a skier or a golfer or a bowler. It's like that problem could be in multiple avenues. So for example, I can help somebody in online business who is not just a clinician. And I have clients that are not just clinicians, because the problem is figuring out how to get started, creating an offer, where do I build an audience, all those things. That's the problem. But that problem could be across multiple avenues, right? I don't just help physical therapists. I can help occupational therapists and speech therapists. And so it's like, yes, that is a avatar. It's a person, it's a niche, but there's a common problem, right? And so you want to recognize and identify, who do you help though? Like, who, this problem that you solve, like, who do you help? So that's the first thing, the who. The second thing is, what problem do you help these people to solve? And this isn't just your knowledge on how you can help them. It is actually identifying the problem. So, do you have no sales in your business and now you want to make sales? Do you have no clients in your business and now you want to sign clients? Are you in hip pain and now you want to get out of pain? Do you have back pain and you want to get out of pain? Do you not feel confident being on camera and now you feel confident? Do you have a mindset block around putting yourself out there and now you help somebody overcome the mindset block? Maybe you're a mom who has really excellent time management skills and you're like, I'm going to help another mom or another busy entrepreneur or another professional who might be short on time, has kids. I'm going to help them solve their time management issue through strategic planning, through strategic, maybe it's meal prepping that you help them with on how to manage time. Maybe it's just a kind of calendar or schedule. Maybe it's how to prepare at nighttime so that your morning's set up. Like, you got to start recognizing that nobody wants to just feel good or have more confidence. It's like the confidence to do something, feel better to do something. Like, people want to feel better so that they show up for their kids, they show up for their spouse, they show up to whatever sport that they want to do without pain, or they show up in their relationships better. It's like they want it for an end result. They want it for a reason. And so you have to understand, what is that problem that they want solved? Okay. So first thing, who do you help? Second thing, what problem do you solve for them? Third thing is, how do you best communicate? And I think this is really important, because this, I've seen, can kind of make or break some people. Understanding your communication style. Do you like video? Do you like to just talk? If you like video, YouTube's a great platform. Here I am. If you like to talk but not be on video, then it might be a podcast. If you like to write, then you might be a blogger. And so those are what we call the long form pieces of content, where content just lives on forever and ever and ever. Whereas on social media platforms, the content is short lived. Anytime you post something new, it just gets pushed down, or your old post gets pushed down by your new posts. And so it's like, you post, push down, you post, push down. And so this comes to understand how you best communicate to be able to get it out there. And then you can pick the social media platform that suits you. And then you can distribute the content across multiple platforms. Okay. So let me just say this. Actually, I put this here in my notes. Instagram is not the only platform to build on. And I actually personally believe it is a difficult platform to build on, because it almost has turned into what seems like an algorithmic kind of service as opposed to a human service. We are here to serve people, not serve an algorithm. And yes, we have to have proper context behind our content. We do have to do things that are going to capture attention, but it's almost like people are scrapping for attention, that they're doing any and everything they see other people doing for attention, and it's really out of alignment for them. I had somebody not too long ago ask me how I'm so untrendy on social to be able to remain authentic to myself. And I was like, you calling me untrendy? But really what she meant was she could just feel my level of authenticity within my content. And she's like, how do you do that? How are you not showing up in a dancing way or pointing way or doing things? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just not my personality. I enjoy dancing. I enjoy doing those things, but I'm here to teach you. I'm here to educate you. I'm here to deliver my life experience, not just from a theoretical standpoint of, I think this is going to work, but it's what's working for me. It's what's working for my clients. And what I've also seen just working in the industry at large. So it's like, I'm here to deliver that to you. And sometimes the stuff I talk about ain't that sexy. It really isn't that fun. It's like, here's just the nitty gritty of things. I think what makes it fun is my personality. At least I hope so. But it's like, I can't always be in that dancing mode. And yes, there are things we're going to do that make it fun, that show my personality, but this is also just a serious business, right? And so figuring out the best platform for you, and just, it's not always Instagram, right? But Instagram is just one piece of the puzzle. There is Facebook. Facebook ain't dead, let me tell you. It is not dead. It's actually thriving if you know how to use it well. And I actually have a video on that. I think I'll just link some previous videos down in the description because those will be some good references for you after you watch this. Okay. Fourth thing is put an offer or solution together. That offer or solution, which is how your knowledge and skills solves a problem, you got to put it in something, either a coaching program, a course, a book, what else? Oh my gosh. A course, a book, one-on-one coaching, group coaching, masterminds, like those kinds of things, right? You got to put it somewhere to be able to deliver for people. How are they going to consume you? How are they going to get their solution? You have to have a way to deliver it. So you want to package and deliver that offer or that solution. Fifth thing is to get better at your communication. When you get better at your communication, then you're going to have better marketing and better sales processes. So those are your 5 things. Who do you help? What problem do you help solve for them? How do you best communicate so that you can build your audience? And then put an offer or solution together, and then get better at your communication. Now, that is the framework. There are multiple things to do under each of these 5 steps. And I think that is where people start to get in their head around the nitty gritty of, well, let's say, for example, who do you help? Let's say you get started, you know who you want to help. Some of the challenges you might run into is trying to make it like solidified and cut and dry. Like who you start out helping is who you're going to always help. That might not be the case. This is my 3rd pivot in the online space. I started selling rehab and digital products and working directly with people who had pain. And then I developed a knee pain course, and I started coaching people who had chronic knee pain. And then I moved into the network marketing model, which I still am with that company today. And now I'm in the coaching space. So it's like I've had multiple iterations, but what makes my coaching so valuable to people is the fact that I've had those multiple iterations, that my knowledge base of what I've done is also vast. And so not only has businesses evolved for me, but I've evolved in the process. So a lot of clients like my mentorship style and being able to deliver nuances for their business based on my own perspective, previous clients, but different businesses that I've been able to successfully create. And so I want you to recognize that who you help might also morph. And so start with what comes to you first as you're going through these 5 steps. And then just take that one action, right? Actually write down on a piece of paper. Don't just think about it in your head. Write down on a piece of paper. Who do you help? Put it down. And then what problem do these people have that you solve? Like, what is that niche, right? It doesn't have to be a person. The niche could also be a problem, right? And then how do you communicate Start to think about that. Do you enjoy being on video? Do you enjoy just talking and you want to do podcast style only? Do you like writing? Start to think about that. Write it down and actually go from thinking to putting it down. And then the offer, it's like, well, how am I going to package this up? How do I want to best deliver it? And then your communication, right? And then you just keep refining yourself within these 5 steps and allowing yourself to not have it all perfect before you take the step, because you're only going to get more clarity the moment you start taking action steps. You cannot get clear in your head. And I think that's where a lot of clinicians are like, I don't want to mess up. I don't want to get it wrong. I already feel bad about investing in this degree and I want to do something else. You might be holding on to the shame or the guilt of that. So now you're kind of approaching entrepreneurship as having to get it right. It just don't work like that. Entrepreneurship is like the biggest playing field ever because of the options. And this is why you've got to be solid in how you feel about yourself and your level of authenticity as you show up online. Because let's say you make a decision to do something, but you're not feeling solid within yourself. Somebody else can say something to you on the outside that makes you go, ooh, maybe I should be doing that instead. Maybe I should do that. And now you're all over the place because you haven't yet figured out your own level of conviction in this space. And so there's the human experience of entrepreneurship as well. And I think a lot of you are just navigating not just the logical side of how to take action, but the emotional component of this doesn't feel good. It feels scary. And delineating between what feels scary and let me keep going versus what feels scary and that probably just isn't my avenue. And not getting bullied. And I use the word bullied in such a loose way, but it's almost like people are just telling you what to do and you're not necessarily developing your own way of creating something or your own way of doing online business. And there's a lot of mimicry out here. There's a lot of people just copying what other people are doing. But here's what's interesting. If somebody else started their business that doesn't really feel in alignment for them, and you decide you're going to copy what that person is doing, thinking oh, they must have it down, their business is successful, or it looks like it is anyways on the outside, and you decide you're going to copy them, now it's almost like you're just reiterating someone else's disbelief within themselves or someone else's mimicry of other people online, and that's how it continues. I'm a huge advocate for thinking for yourself. As a coach, I don't tell you what to do. I actually am going to help you discover the thing you really want to do and then helping you take the action steps to make that happen, to make that come to fruition. I'm going to offer you a thought perspective. I'm going to offer you different ways of looking at it. And I'm also going to challenge your belief system. Is this something you want to do or something you think you're supposed to, something you saw successful for someone else and you're like, ooh, I think I can do that, so I'm going to go do that. And it's not your purpose. It's not your route. And you're wondering, well, why isn't this working for me? But you didn't recognize that that wasn't for you. So I help my clients make these decisions so that they get where they want to go faster. And they learn from my mistakes. They literally learn from everything I've done wrong, if you will. And I don't even like to say it's been wrong. It's just that's been my journey. So because of my journey, I get to give back and say, here's exactly how you can not cut corners, but get there faster and cut the learning curve, because you'll need to go through all this. It's like, here's how you actually solidify your next step. Here's how you feel confident about your next step. So these are the 5 things to help you get started in your online business. Just start with who you help. Start there. And if you're like, all right, I already know who, then you want to go into the problem, right? What problem do they have? Do some market research, ask more questions to people that are in align with who you believe you might want to help right now, and start taking some action on that. Figure out how you best communicate, put an offer and a solution together and how you want to deliver it. And then just practice getting better at your communication. I'm somebody who had a stutter growing up. Sometimes I lose my thought process because I'm figuring out how I'm going to say the word next. And so coming on live is not always the easiest thing in the world. However, I have worked through my communication. I've worked through and practiced different ways of showing up and really embodying levels of authenticity and my knowledge and my skills to be able to show up here, because this mission of what I'm helping all of you do is important to me. And so my challenge, if you will, was learning how to friggin' speak and not stutter over every 2 words, right? And so when I say getting better at your communication, I don't just mean the speech that you say, but it's like your thought processes, right? How are you going to think through the things so that way you can show up better in your marketing and show up better in your sales process as you're having DM conversations or closing people on a sales call, right? Might be a little bit advanced. We're going to have some more videos on that, but I just want to help you start to forward pace and forward think. But these are the 5 steps to get started with. Drop your questions, drop your comments down below, and I will see you all in another live. Bye.